Welcome to my channel. My name is Rega Kisidu, aka Mrs. Kiss, and you're welcome to Couple Segment. Today, I am excited because I have with me Pastor Edmund and First Lady Becky from Apostolic Church, Philadelphia Assembly. Stay tuned. All right, yay!
Hi.
Edmund.
Hi. How are
Hi.
you?
I'm doing well. How are you? I haven't met you yet, but I'm going to find out all about you today.
Oh wow. I see.
No pressure. You're free
No
to
problem.
say whatever.
So I'm Becky, and this is my husband. He's Edmund.
Okay.
People call him Kasa, Eddy, but I call him Edmund.
Edmund. Okay.
Hey, you call me Edmund?
How long have you guys been married?
Um, we just celebrated our 9th year.
All right. And how has marriage been?
Yes, from my point, marriage has been so exciting. It has its own challenges, but so far so good by the grace of God. Yes. It's been good. It's been good. Mm-hmm.
What about you, First Lady Becky?
Yeah, I love being married and staying married. So I'm enjoying myself. It's very interesting to be married and being married with a person that makes you happy, feeling comfortable with a person. So I'm very happy in marriage.
How did you guys meet?
Okay, we met at a camp meeting. Yes, when we were on campus, I went to Tech. She went to Legon, but we have this student group that's apostolic students and associates. Yes, so we go for an annual camp meeting. And we met at a camp meeting, but we were also in the same group that's the praise and worship team. But we met at the camp meeting. Yes.
Okay. Is the story the truth? Nothing but the truth, First Lady?
Yes, definitely. That's how we met. And yeah, we did not really start talking at the camp meeting. He had a sister that was my friend, and we were in the same room. So he used to come there all the time. And I used to be a little bit upset with him because he was like a bit choosy. Will you eat this food? He said no. Meanwhile, that's what is being served at the campground. So I didn't really like that aspect. And so whenever he came to the room, I was very quiet. But when we were going back home, everyone was asleep in the back. And then it was just the two of us. We were sitting on the back seat and we started talking. And yeah.
And you haven't stopped talking?
No, we're still talking.
What was your, Pastor Eddy, what was your first impression of Sister Becky then? I'm sure you guys were sisters and brothers then.
Yes, actually, when I met her, nothing crossed. Okay, nothing crossed. I didn't have anything in mind. I just saw her as a sister's friend, so I just thought, oh, let me just say hi and then talk to her. After the camp meeting, I think we went on vacation, and so we resumed school. I think we went on campus, and so let me just say hi to her. Okay, and the hi, we started to talk. And in those days, I have the impression that when I'm too close to any of the female, they think I'm interested in them. I have that weird mentality. So I just check up on her. And usually I am a guy of few words. I'll just ask if she had her quiet time, if she could share with me, just to help build that spiritual. So my focus was to help her out when it comes to the spiritual aspect, to build her up, okay, as a sister's friend. Okay, that was the main notion behind calling her to check up on her. To a time I realized that she was becoming too close. I was calling her too often. I wasn't too comfortable. Let me just cut her off. Okay, but I realized that we kept talking, as you rightly said.
I wasn't there, but I can feel the vibe already. So, Pastor, were you Crife?
Yes, yes, I was. On campus also, happened to be the leader of our student group. Okay, so I was actually that. I was
He had
very.
to be. We had no option. He had to be. So he was there.
The conversation was, oh, okay, how are you? Have you done your quiet time? Okay, just to prove that she has done it, share with me. If I have anything to add on it, I add on it, and that was how it was going. But I make sure that I didn't interrupt with her studies and all those stuff. Yeah, so I was purely on that line, the spiritual line of conversation. Yeah.
Okay. First Lady Becky, when did that spiritual line change into romantic line?
I like guys who sing. That one is my weak point. So, and he sings too. So it was like he has this thin voice. Even though he's a guy, but he has this thin voice, and I was like, who is this guy that can sing and sing high notes that even ladies will find it difficult to sing? So it really attracted me to him, and when we're talking, I mean, it got to other things like, so how is school, your friends, and so I realized that I was developing something from he having to just move from your quiet time to getting to know me better on a personal level. Yeah, so I'll say
Who said I love you first?
I know it's obvious I said first. Yeah, this one, let me take the point. I said it first. But anyway, not knowing that day that I wanted to say it, she was expecting it. And she said she knew I would propose on that day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So this is beyond just the spiritual, oh, have you done your quiet time? There was a chemistry that was developing. And she, whenever she's around, I realized that there's that connection. Okay. Yeah. So actually, just to answer your question, I said, I love you.
I'm sure, First Lady, what was your response? Were you already in love or?
Yes, that one I was, and I was very convinced about it. That's one thing about me. When I'm convinced about something, it's very difficult for me to back off. So I was convinced about him. I knew he loved God, and that was my number one thing. Someone that loved God, and then he had that added value that I wanted. He could sing. So what else was I looking for? And I was like, I mean, if you know you want it, that's it. You don't have to like wait. So yeah.
So would you say that we have to be wary or careful about people who sing in church, because you've got a lot of vibes coming your way? What would you say to that?
I would say it's personal preferences. That is what I wanted, and he fell into it. And he was someone too that was leading me closer to God, and then he was also encouraging me to build my ministry.
Pastor Eddy, what would you say to the young men and the young women who can sing so beautifully that attract people to them? You know, I know that for your particular situation, it ended in marriage, but what would you say to young people who have special gifts and talents? Like, you know, I've always picked on people who play piano and instrumentalists, and, you know, all the girls love them. And, you know, girls who can sing, all the boys usually, you know, draw because we see them on the stage. Or even men of God, you know, Crife or Pensa presidents or apostolic students and associate presidents. You know, you were like up there. You're the, you know, so what would you say to that?
Yes, it is very tempting. And one thing that such people should know is that the anointing attracts. And especially, we should know that when it comes to the singing ministry, Lucifer had been there before. So if you are stepping in that ministry, he is very envious of you. A lot of people are looking up to you, and especially the ladies will feel so happy being around you. And that is where such people should be very careful. That it is not just about you, it is that because of the anointing. If they separate you and the anointing from it, they'll not even get close to you. All right. So you should know, first of all, that you have been called of God. And what you have is of God. And therefore you must not take advantage of what you have to live certain lives which will mislead other people. As I sing, yes, I know some of the ladies appreciate. I mean, in those days, I was taught about the three G's: one, gold, which is money; two, which is girls, that is ladies; and then the third one, which is glory. Okay, an anointing attracts all these things, and if you don't take care, you might be misled, and you might be swollen head, and you may think it's all about you. If you don't take care, that is going to be the end of your ministry.
My next question is, how long did you guys date for? Now let's come from the upper heavens and get to the How long did you date or court for?
5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
5 years.
5. Yeah.
Mhm.
Elaborate,
5
please.
years.
Why?
Yeah.
Pastor, were you not sure?
When we started talking, it was after 1 year that I proposed to her. Okay. And it wasn't that I was not sure. She was then in school. Okay. She was in the second year. And I had just completed. Okay. I think it was during my national service. So we just wanted to give ourselves a little time so that we can put ourselves together and then finally settle down. It is not advisable to court for that number of years. You need to put yourself together and make sure that you don't court for so long a time, because it has its own challenges. One thing that helped us is that when we started courting, we told ourselves that this is who we are. We are Christians, first of all, and our relationship should be based on Christian values. So I would not, even though we courted for 5 years, I wouldn't advocate that to anybody, because it is very challenging. You need to be very disciplined to be able to go that far.
What do you mean challenging? Can you give us real life examples that happened in your particular situation when you courted for 5 years?
Yes. There are instances, because somebody you love is somebody you are attracted to. And there are times you want to go out, or sometimes you want the person to come and visit you. Being together alone with an attractive lady like my wife, a beautiful and pretty as she is, you'll be tempted to, let me take away something from your hair. Let me give you a peg, let me give you a kiss on the cheek. I mean, it's if you don't take it, you will land where you are not ready to get to. And that was the last thing we wanted actually to do.
When somebody is in love, when should they do the proposal? If pastor is not recommending, courting for 5 years and all that stuff, when should they do the proposal?
I would say you should do it when you're sure, and you know that in the next year or two, or the soonest possible time, you're ready to settle with a person. Good.
What was your own particular challenge when the engagement lasted for 5 years?
Yes. You see, let me hug you a little bit. I feel cold, or I want some affection. And then you're like, hey, where is my mind going to? So yeah, it was very difficult. But I thank God that we relied on a power that was stronger than our own will.
But did you get any advances from other gentlemen? And did you get confused at all for being engaged for that long?
Yes, I did. I had people come my way, and one thing that I thank God for was my mom. So once I went to her, I was like, "Oh, Mom, I think I found someone else." She said no. So she was like, no. She did not even wait to say, "Oh, who is this person?" or try to find out if. She just said no. She said, "You brought Edmond. Edmond is the choice, and that's it." I was like, okay.
Wow, that's really nice. I'm glad for mothers like that who will keep us. Great. So we won't,
Yeah.
thwart it with our decision.
I know,
That's
yeah.
that's very important, and that's something that I always say, that when you're dating, put people around you, so that when there's a tendency for you to misbehave, they can get you straight. It's very, very important,
Yeah.
because like one of my friends said, "And how has marriage changed your relationship?" Because you courted for about 5 years, and so you had a relationship. How is it like being married now? How has that changed?
I would say it's not changed much. We were friends. We still are friends. We'll do things that if you're close to someone on a friendship level, you can do. Just that it's advanced into more intimacy than it was on a friendship level.
Pastor Eddy, you have to, I'm sorry, but you have to go into the natural right now. How has your relationship been in marriage right now?
Yeah, the initial stages of our marriage was very challenging. We courted in Ghana, okay, and we got married in Ghana. We only spent a month together, and then she came to the United States, and we have been apart for 7 years. Okay, she only came to Ghana, I think, on 2 occasions. So the initial stage, it's somebody you have been talking to, seeing for that number of years, and you got married, and then the person had to leave you for that long. So in the initial stages,
For 7 years?
Mm-hmm, yes.
After marriage?
After marriage, only spending 1 month together.
Oh wow, Pastor, I think we have to divert to that area, but go on.
Yeah, so initially it was very challenging because we got married. She had to come to the United States and leave me all alone. I could just remember the day I left her at the airport, come home. I was just like a baby, just crying. And I know she also say her part of it. She said she was weeping throughout the flight. And let me just yeah, so that separation was a very big blow, even though we saw it coming, but it wasn't easy at all. Yeah.
Wow, 7 years. And what would be your advice to people who are in that situation? Because most people have to do long distance, either as dating or courting or even marriage, because of different circumstances. What is your advice? What is your takeoff? Would you do it again?
For doing it again, I wouldn't do that again. And it's something I've been telling my brothers way back in Ghana, that hey, this time it is something I discourage. Then what you just have to sacrifice so that one party will have to accept to be at one location. But separated, a distant relationship, it is very difficult, especially when it comes to the men. As far as the men are concerned, it is very difficult. I don't know that of the women, but I knew that it wasn't easy, but it wasn't as mine. Okay, so I would seriously discourage distant marriage. But if anybody finds him or herself in that situation, the only thing I'll encourage the person is that the person should stay focused and then do everything it takes to make sure that they come together in marriage. Because when you are used to it, it's also another ball game altogether.
What would you say, First Lady Becky, about your 7 years apart in marriage after the honeymoon?
Yeah, it was not easy, but coming over to the US and experiencing something different also challenged me. I missed him, I missed family back home, but I had a lot of things also to learn. So I would say it was a balance something for me. Yeah.
What would you advise a young lady who is in long distance relationship with another person, based on your experience? Would you do it again? What would you say?
Yeah, I would also say no. I would definitely not do it again, just because of what I I am seeing now. Now that he is here, we living together, knowing that your nuclear family, like your immediate family, is close by. You have someone to lean on, to always discuss something. The person is readily available.
I'll come back in the future with this long distance relationship because I have so many questions. What is your pet peeves about your spouse?
I really did not like guys who yawn. Like, if you yawn, for me to see, it was something that would put me off, like, right away. But that was surprising.
Now he has to yawn.
That was the first thing I liked about him. I'm like, so that was it. It was my like, and the first time I saw it, I was like, I don't think it's that bad. So
what do you mean you don't like guys who yawn? Like, we can't. Don't you yawn?
I do, but it used to put me off.
Like when they yawn without covering their mouth. Or
everything. When I see it or on phone, I hear it. It just puts me off. Like,
this lady, we hear
it was just.
I like these pet peeves questions because everybody has like all kinds of things. So what's your pet peeve about First Lady?
She's impatient. Okay, she would just react. Okay, she would just, if she doesn't want it, she would react. Very impatient, and maybe we want to explain to her, oh, she has just complained. I like something about her. She's very smart, and her analysis are maybe 60%, 70%,
90%.
She easily conclude on things that I know this thing. But because I'm the patient type, I'll just allow her to do whatever she has to do, and I give her some time. Later, I'll just come and make sure that there's peace prevailing.
What is the most memorable memory of you guys?
Okay, yeah, it's not a memorable one anyway, but it's something it always reminds me that the time within our courtship that I nearly broke up with her. I'm sorry, but I presented to her an engagement ring, and on the day she gave it back to me, I just told myself that. So that day was the day we nearly broke up anyway. So it's something that sometimes we sit down, we are chatting, it comes up, we laugh over it, and then move on. There's one on the day of proposal also. It's one of the memorable days because when I proposed and she accepted, it was an answered prayer. Okay, because if she had told me that she was going to think about it, I have prayed that any lady who I was proposed to and would tell me that she was going to think about it, she's not the one. I was real confident about that. So on that night, I used to tease her that I have a song for her. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, yes, Lord. Yeah, so she just said yes to me, and I just chose that song that, yes, Lord. Yes, 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 Lord.
That was my first time of going for a movie. He actually took me to a movie theater. We rented a whole room. It was just the two of us. We watched the movie. He took me out for dinner, and then he took me back to my hostel. I was still in school. So he took me back to my hostel, and then he went back home. That was very memorable.
What is keeping the spark in your marriage?
I would give the credit to him. He's always doing his best to keep things in shape, to always put a smile on my face with the kids. So yeah, I think that's really what is keeping us. He being who he is, and trying his best not to let any conflict go overboard.
Pastor, what excites you about your marriage?
Oh, excitement. No, I was
calm down. Come down from heaven. Enter the physical.
Oh yeah, with the physical. I told God that should give me a lady I can always look at. Even if I don't, if I don't go to work, I can just look at her the whole day. God being so good, He gave me a woman of that sort. That yes, she might have her weaknesses, but herself in totality excites me. Okay, there are times when we are home, that sometimes you feel so uncomfortable because my boy in fact I prayed and you have come. So let me just be excited all around you. There are sometimes I can just hold the head, pull it. So let me just, so even though yes, there are times she will make her face straight. When the straight face comes, you realize that it's a no-go place. But uh, yes, excitements are in the bedroom. Excitements when we go out, and complementing my ministry also has been a very great thing. I've always thanked God for her life.
Question of the day. Are men of God boring romantics? Pathetic romantics?
He's all around, like all areas. For me, they are not boring one bit, if I have to reference it.
Okay. All right. And what would you say generally, though? I know you spoke with your husband as the focus, but what would you say?
Generally, I would say yes. Generally, because I remember when we were in university, when we were in Legon, we used to complain a lot about the guys. But like, Kasa guys are not romantic. Every time they are cabin, it's like, have you done your quiet time? You need to pray every day, fasting. We're like, no, we need to be going out, we need to be doing this and that. So when we were single, that was our complaint all the time. The ladies ministry, anytime we had a conversation with the guys, that was our complaint. That was the main focus. Now things are changing, so you can't say 100% that they're still that way, but I think they've evolved to being better, a little better, but it's still there. I mean, you can't take it away. Of course, you can't take that away from them. Yeah, I mean, it's there.
Okay, thank you, Pastor. Be honest about it. Are men of God romantic?
All right, so it can be the nature of our work calls for some of these things. So it can. I really understand it when others are saying that it is boring to marry a man of God. However, it is also up to you, the man of God. So because if I don't have time, at least the little time I have, at least the children, oh okay, let's go out. Okay, let's get a surprise for mommy. Oh okay, let's do that to make fun in the marriage. At least the little time that I receive, because most of my time have to do with my work. So it can be, I mean, that's when I'll say that 80%, I don't dispute that fact, it is there. That one, the nature of the work, because always you need to also receive from God. In fact, for instance, we are, for the whole of October, we are having every day 3 times prayer. Okay, and each and every time you need to prepare, get a message, and you can't receive a message when you are just going about. You need to always be in tune. But for how long should we be in tune? At the expense where your wife also, or the children, the kids also need you. I believe in having memories. Okay, so at least the little time we have, it should be exciting enough that tomorrow we can say that, oh, these are memorable times that we had together. Because I always tell her that we'll not always remain young. Today, baby, I am strong. What I'm able to do today, I might not be able to do tomorrow.
Do it, Pastor. Do it, Pastor.
So I have to. I got to do something before I get older.
Yes.
At least, if I'm not able to go do it tomorrow, I know that, oh, in my heyday, I was able to do ABC. And that's just me.
Pastor, are you romantic? Last question.
It depends on the definition of being romantic. But if it is what I meant, I am still learning. Okay, but once my wife says I am, then I take it. I take it. I take it. Yeah.
Wow.
Because I was actually so green. I had to learn a lot to be able to get things. I was green.
To
I
keep
didn't know
up.
how to do certain things, but I need to learn. Exactly. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you so much, Pastor Eddy. And thank you so much, First Lady Becky. This has been an exciting time full of lessons and laughter. And thank you for watching us. If you haven't subscribed and leave comments, let us know what you think of pastors' relationship and what you want to ask them. And we'll be happy to answer those questions for you. Like, share, comment, and like this video. And we'll see you again next time.